Thousands rallied across dozens of cities in Brazil to denounce President Jair Bolsonaro's handling of the pandemic, marching through the streets of Rio de Janeiro to the sound of drum beats and to the chant of indigenous tribes in the capital, Brasilia. They called for Bolsonaro's impeachment, accusing him of still downplaying the COVID-19 pandemic, despite Brazil's death toll being the second largest in the world. When the protests began in Rio, the coronavirus had already killed more than 498,000 Brazilians. As the day wore on, Brazil reached the tragic milestone of 500,000 dead.
This government's responsible for genocide. It delayed the vaccination rollout. We cannot continue to be governed by a president who doesn't care about Brazilian lives.
Just last week, Bolsonaro was fined for leading a motorbike rally in São Paulo without wearing a mask. He's already on the campaign trail for next year's presidential election and continues to promote hydroxychloroquine as a cure for the coronavirus.
I'm 65 years old, was infected by COVID-19 and took hydroxychloroquine. The next day I was cured.
Bolsonaro's opponents had been reluctant to take to the streets against him, arguing that people should stay home in the midst of a pandemic. Now they say it's riskier to remain quiet.
We're here to fight for our lives. The virus is less deadly than our president. We want him out now.
This is happening while a Senate committee is still investigating the government's handling of the pandemic. Senators, doctors, and scientists say they suspect the government has tried to achieve herd immunity by infection.
There's the suspicion that every scientist in Brazil now has. And the president of Brazil is doing everything he can to convince us that that's his strategy since the beginning. When he goes and says that immunization produces a protection that is smaller than if you have the disease, which is not true.
Meanwhile, an average 2,000 Brazilians have been dying every day, and many fear that, at this rate, Brazil may soon surpass the United States as the country with the world's largest COVID-19 death toll. Yanakiew, Al Jazeera, Rio de Janeiro.